Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fridays at 4 on twitch.tv/DDO stream. I'm your community manager, Cordovan, and we are getting ready for our 20th anniversary here in just a couple of weeks. And we're going to have a lot more information soon, but we do have articles that have gone live, along with a landing page on DDO.com with all of our anniversary information that we're able to preview right now. Most of these articles will be updated in the coming weeks as things progress and things change with them. Most of these systems are still under active development and being previewed on Lamannia. So it's a little weird trying to create articles to do pre-hype and things like that, get people excited, while also maybe having to do a couple iterations on a couple of bits, like our item list, which I'll be working on next week. We already had some work that was being done following this week's Lamannia preview, and then we got a bunch of feedback that we've heard this week, and we're taking another look at that list here for some adjustments. So that page will get adjusted, but today we're not here to talk about that because we talked about that last Friday as well. So there's some other information that was already on there, and you can find that on DDO.com. We might get to more of these things later on, but I have a good interview to show you today. We're going to be talking about Arcane Trickster. The next in the list of articles being populated on DDO.com is going to be the Arcane Trickster article. As part of that, I was able to sit down with lead systems designer Torque to talk a little bit about Arcane Trickster in general. So this is an overview, a preview, a chance of what you're going to learn about playing the Arcane Trickster yourself. And don't forget, you will be getting this Arcane Trickster for free as long as you stop into the game during the anniversary event. So let's get to some video here. It's about 9 minutes long. With me is senior systems designer Torque. How you doing, Torque?
I'm doing pretty good.
Now, you're involved in the Arcane Trickster that's going to be coming to the game here real soon, and we're here to talk a little bit about that. In many ways, the Arcane Trickster is a rogue with magic.
Yes, we had a few the Arcane Trickster has been with D&D for a very long time, like since back 3rd edition. So it was originally one of the prestige classes, but in recent iterations it's more of a subclass of rogue. We're doing it as an archetype of rogue. It is basically kind of like the Eldritch Knight of rogues for our game. While it's fully adept at sneak attacking and disable traps and the standard tasks that rogues do, it's got a lot of extra magical tools, namely the Mage Hand, which can do all sorts of things, including disabling traps at ranged. It can poke your foe in the eye and slap one silly. And there's one of the capstone abilities is called Presto, where it snaps its fingers and the monster just vanishes. We don't really explain what happens. It's magic.
Yeah,
Did it. Magic Hand. The other aspect that how we work the spells is they have stolen spells. They steal spells. So kind of like Archmage, their core line is a SLA selector of spell-like abilities, but it is very verbose. Instead of picking a school of magic in the arcane tradition, you're basically stealing a spell from another class, and you can really mix and match. You could have an alchemist spell from one core, or a cleric spell, and have a cleric spell in another. So they're very versatile.
What are they giving up? Because they have trap ability in that. So what are some of the things that differentiate a traditional style rogue from an Arcane Trickster?
So for the most part, you start the same in many regards. You both get evasion, but after that, you start losing a lot of things. So you won't get Uncanny Dodge, you won't get the bonus feats, you won't get improved evasion. The Arcane Trickster basically has access to the Mechanic tree, the Thief Acrobat tree, as well as its own tree, so they'll lose access to Assassin. So we're probably also going to do a few tweaks to Assassin just to kind of keep everything level.
They still use Intelligence as their primary stat. Is that also their spellcasting stat?
Sort of. Their spells and spell-like abilities use Disable Device, much like the recent Mechanic. They don't roll the d20 in this current form. They just use their flat disable, whatever your disabled device skill is, that's your DC, and that is intelligence driven. So they are effectively intelligence driven, though you could still run as a dex build if you want to, because keeping your disabled device skill up, you have a lot of other bonuses you can access. You can like use your activate skill bonus to actually boost your DCs on your spells because it's effectively skill driven. It's kind of like Bard perform checks, except they're using disabled device instead.
When it comes to spell casting, they in many ways have proficiency as of a rogue. What about things like wearing armor versus some of the other caster classes out there?
So they get light armor for free, kind of like bards. So you're going to be able to wear leather without worrying about arcane failure. They do have some arcane failure bonuses in their tree if you want to basically boost your armor up. Kind of standard 1, 2, 3 by 15% arcane armor reduction for failure. And there are other sources you can find in the game to kind of if you want to run a plate mail arcane trickster, it's probably possible. Maybe you want to wear a mithril plate.
Someone will figure it out. Someone will figure it out.
Yeah.
One of the first things people are going to see in the feat list that is new, very much new, is a magical ambush. So what is a magical ambush?
Yeah, this is actually probably the most iterative, intensive aspect of this class. So the idea of a magical ambush is that you take your sneak attack dice and we apply it to your spell damage in some form.
Spell Thief is all the way up at level 16 for a feat, and it allows you, with melee and missile attacks, that if they strike a target that has spells, it will grant the caster spell points. You'll get spell points for using a missile attack or a melee attack against an enemy that uses spells. Given that your name is Torque, and there's a very famous item called the Torque, right? Is this like that, or what's up? Yeah.
Purely coincidental, but I mean, it sort of is. Like you had to get hit. You had to get hit to get your spell points for the Torque, if I recall.
Yeah.
This is you get to hit the enemy, which is a lot better, especially since you have a lot of tools to CC the enemy. But yeah, you basically can beat the spell points out of people. It's very deep in the tree, so obviously, like you're very deep in the class level structure. So you're kind of really devoting yourself to Arcane Trickster to access that. But it's how we're representing Spell Thief in our current iteration of the class as archetype right now.
You mentioned the idea of stolen spells. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to be pulling spells from enemies you encounter. The Arcane Trickster does have a spell list.
So you have an arcane list it's like the progression is kind of like a ranger in terms of your base spells, except you're accessing arcane spells mostly of the illusion and enchantment schools, though we did kind of range that out a bit to a fair number of utility transmutation and abjuration spells. Like if you can get Night Shield, you can get Jump. So it's got your base book is mostly utility, though if they have tools to stack up their enchantment and illusion DCs through weapon attacks deeper in their tree. So you could use we're aiming that your phantasmal killer spell will probably be good at least against something that has a weak will save. You get blur and displacement. You'll in hypnotism and charm person you get a variety of abilities that things out of your book that will probably help you through your adventuring, but you're not really going to be able to do it with your spell book alone because that is kind of a short stack book. The SLAs really are what like help you round it out.
And that's in core 2, 3, and 4 here.
Yeah,
and there's you will pick from a list of 6, right?
Let me not get fuzzy.
Yeah.
Yes, you're basically going to pick 4 spells from 6 different casting classes. Yeah. We didn't do Warlock, but I think we got everyone else. And like as you go up in the course, some of those spells get pretty beefy, like Disintegrate or Heal. Some of them have decent, they're SLAs, so some of them will have decent cooldowns. So they're kind of meant to augment a rogue is pretty much our game at DPS platform right now. So it's kind of meant to augment that. the it is not going to be like a casting class out of the get-go, but it might multi-class into casting classes in a very interesting hybrid way, because it could, if it tries for damage, you can get a lot of sneak attack dice in the game to try to stack up that arcane ambush.
Yes. Yes, you can.
I'm a little afraid of it, to be honest.
One of the big visual things that you'll recognize with the Arcane Trickster, and we started this conversation, so let's end the conversation perhaps on this as well, which is the idea of the mage hand. You're going to see it in game, actually doing stuff.
Yes, it'll appear around the monster when it's messing with the monster. As a side perk, when you emote, certain emotes, if we had a emote mage hand kind of emote that matched, we threw it in. So, you wave, the hand will pop up and wave as you're waving. Stuff like that. But it's not floating with you perpetually like the hawk. It's definitely popping in and out of existence, but you'll be making it pop in and out of existence, pretty commonly. Just the strength of the abilities.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for watching that. That's a video, like I say, that'll be kind of a little visual aspect of the guide that's coming up. Most of the guide you've seen a version of, because it's in some part based on the enhancement tree of the Lamannia notes, although that's received some iteration in that as well. But all of that should be planned for roughly next week. Probably first half of the week next week we'll get that one published live. So hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, the mage hand is looking pretty good. Now, the character you're seeing right here is, in fact, an Arcane Trickster. It was the one I used to grab just a little bit of B-roll footage on here. And I thought we'd spend a little bit of time as we go through the show just looking a little bit at, this is Anniversary Island. Anniversary Island is our new public zone, our new public instance space. For not just this, it's debuting with the 20th anniversary, but it'll probably be an anniversary space for us moving forward. It doesn't entirely replace the old space in House Fjarlin. You can, in fact, access the House Fjarlin challenge as well from this space, but we, for a long time, have kind of wanted to break out the anniversary into its own space. And so one of the things we're doing as part of our big 20th anniversary celebration here is getting to that work. What you're seeing on Lamannia, this is our Lamannia public preview server, is not the final version of it. I already know that we have a few things. Some of these NPCs are being renamed in terms of title. There's a few other bits that are going to happen. I'm also going to keep it relatively spoiler-free, but I wanted to give you a bit of a sense of what you'll be able to find when you get to Anniversary Island. Now, getting to Anniversary Island is really just going to be a matter of speaking with Fred, the anniversary host version of Fred that'll be in House Fjarlin and House Jarasco. And then when you get inside, you'll be able to speak directly with Fred and get some more things as well, get some information about what's going on in this space. You'll be able to speak with Sterling the Strongbox for Sterling's Remnant Rush, which I haven't yet brought up on this show, but a guide also went live for that here on DDO.com this week. This is an opportunity to trade in your mysterious remnants for one of a list of rewards that'll populate for you. It's a random drop, 50-50 on different things, and you can see the list over on DDO.com. Every time you turn it in, it's going to cost more remnants, and you can do it on an account-wide basis up to 10 times per month. At the end of the month, well, at the start of the next month, it all resets, and then you can do it up to 10 times again, paying more and more remnants if you want to take that risk, and get more and more rewards through the end of the month. So that's going to be running through the whole of 2026, Sterling's Remnant Rush. As mentioned here, I'm just going to let's just go clockwise around. This is where you're going to get this cloak. This is our 20th anniversary cloak that'll be given away for free. You'll see it's got some pretty cool lighting effects to it as well for our 20th anniversary, and you'll be able to really get as many of these as you want by speaking to Weaver the Master of Cloaks while the anniversary is active. I'm going to, oh, sorry, I had the volume turned down for the video there. This is where we're going to access the historic 10th anniversary challenge, which did get some updates this year, so you probably do want to give it at least one run if you're interested in that kind of thing. And you can continue to get the rewards for party favors like you have been long term on this, I guess you could call it somewhat fourth wall breaking party challenge. Our new one that I'm going to just give a sneak peek on in this show is perhaps a little bit more in lore. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to, you know, we've had this one going for 10 years now, and we want to do something different. This NPC is going to get a rename. This is not the anniversary token collector. This is going to be a buff that you can get during the anniversary event while it's active. I believe it's a treasure hunter boost, a discovery boost, yep. 10% festive chance to get named loot. You're also going to be able to turn in your old 15th anniversary cloaks from this NPC if you still have any of those left over. At least that's my understanding. And that's how this NPC accidentally got the wrong name. But that's going to get sorted. You'll be able to continue to get the, well, I guess we could call the old anniversary event rewards by speaking with Tolero like you are used. I'm not going to spoil all the NPCs and stuff. You'll notice on this bridge, there's a little bit of a coin thing. Now, this is a minor event at best, so they don't read too much into this one. But the point of this is just to have a little fun. You can get some tasty hams from it. There's also some kind of little crate that you can get, and I guess we'll have to see if I get it or not. You just sort of collect whichever ones you can reach in time. Oh, I think this Lamannia has them kind of copper colored, and we're going to change the color of that to differentiate them from the snow peaks and old evening star stuff. They're going to get a different color, but that's just a little thing you can do. Rare chance of getting a little kind of minor tasty ham from it. And like I said, there is one other thing. At the moment, this is just an NPC space. Over here is where you're going to turn in your 20th anniversary reward token to get the list of named items. Now, like I said, this list is actually in flux. This is going through the Lamannia iteration process, and we had a discussion just earlier today following your feedback on it this week to kind of say like, all right, well, what do we want to kind of do about it? We'll have more information on that next week as we sort of do the implementation, make sure that everything works out. So you can expect an update to some of this. Also, the Meridian fragment that's on Lamannia needs to get nuked. We can't be giving that one out. Not because of its power level, but because it is unbound. So that's a bug. That actually wasn't supposed to be in there, as I've learned to believe. But nonetheless, this is where you're going to turn in your 20th anniversary token. You're going to get one of these tokens on every character you create. While the anniversary event is active, you will need to turn it in while the anniversary event is active as well. Speaking of active, oh, we have got a cat. Hello, everyone. This is Brooklyn, who likes to sleep on my desk. And let me just real quick before he gets too cranky and moves away. Let's get him on a bigger camera. Say hello to the stream there, Brooklyn. How you doing? This is a big kitty as well. There we go. Big ol' cat is right. Alright, let me... Alright, there we go. Yeah, I sort of adopted a cat. So, my girlfriend, has a roommate situation right now, and the kitties between the pair of them weren't getting along, so Brooklyn is now living at my house, and I've picked him up, so. Alright, cool kitty. So, let's move around. Musty Papers I think I will just slightly tease that. You can read a manuscript entitled Demon Lords of the Abyss and other kinds of things. Maybe a little bit of a hint on some of the things that you may have heard about in the producer letter. Now, I think this is one of the final bits to show off. This is the Giver of Gifts, the Arcane Trickster Master. Once you get in game, when the anniversary is live here with the release of Update 78, you'll go to the Giver of Gifts, interact with them, and that will unlock Arcane Trickster on your game account. You'll probably, I think you'll need to log out and log in to get that billing token applied to your game account. But once you speak to the Giver of Gifts, log out and log back in, you should be able to create an Arcane Trickster for free. It's going to be free while the anniversary event is active, so through March 31st. And then after that point, it's going to be available in the DDO store. So you don't need to buy it. You can just go log in and get it for free. And that's what you should be doing once Update 78 goes live. All right, we're going to end our brief tour here. Oh, there's a little jumpy thing here, too. And that's pretty cool. And some other bits you can explore. But like I said, we're not about exploring it all today. I'm just giving you a preview. This is where you're going to find the new Time Flies Anniversary Dungeon. And you'll speak to Sarian Drandal. And there's a bunch of different versions of it. I'm going to just go in on easy mode here because this character is not fully geared out for actual questing. This is a character I just kind of quick created for a little bit of B-roll on for today's show. The Quiver of Alacrity is definitely the, if you don't, it is probably the #1 choice, because it's a min-level quiver that you can equip. You can also upgrade it if you want to. That takes a little bit of work, but even if you don't want to, it's a pretty good quiver. Gives a little ranged alacrity, and has no minimum level. Alright, so you'll notice that we're going into some existing spaces here. You're familiar with the chronoscope. But things are looking different here, so we're going to wander around just a little bit, and you'll kind of get a bit of a sense of something happening here. Oh, I would also point out we don't yet have VO and such on this preview, so the text in that is text only at the moment. Oh, it's next time in combat. I need to remind myself. Next time in combat, I need to test out. I'll show you some of this mage hand stuff. Oh, where was my third? The evidence of sabotage. Oh, I give myself Arcane Trickster. I have haste. If you need it. Oh, here we go. Okay, so let's this is going to be the eye poke. Boink. Now let's move over to the Presto. This is the one that just snaps them into some unknown place. Do the slap there. This particular one is one I'm kind of half testing for maybe my live character, and that is a Vistani knife fighter, kind of pure rogue. Arcane Trickster is kind of what I'm going for, I think. Oh, I've got Force Missile. Both Chain Missile SLA, regular Magic Missile SLA, Scorching Ray in my spellbook, Color Spray, some other good bits. There we go. There are some other good items, and like I say, we are taking a look at your feedback, so I would expect to see some updates to that item list. Something like next week. The Quarry of the Dreaming Dark infiltrated House Caneth. They're studying the chronoscope under your nose while sabotaging construction. I need to get in there. So, done. Now, I'm not going to go too much longer into this, but I just kind of wanted to get you a sense of what you can expect during the anniversary dungeon here. So, we will head in briefly. I think... There we go. There we go. So now you're going to be in a little space here. And the main gist of this new dungeon will be that you'll go into these portals, and each one will be a version of something you're familiar with, but a little bit different. And I'm just going to pop into the first one here, and then probably call it, just so that you can kind of see what's up. So this is from which dungeon now? Oh yeah. Ah, good, you're awake. Brawn pits. Yeah, so. Except things could be a little different. Hell, there's a whole bunch of dungeons that are like this, and it's going to be semi-randomly generated for you throughout. So I think we're going to leave it at that. Like I said, this is the anniversary stuff. I don't want to spoil it too much. But what'll happen is then you'll keep going through that portal to complete your tasks. Why are the load screens showing like that? It's because we're on a preview world, and the load screens are... Oh, and I'm on an admin. Probably a combination of both of those things. So, we do have new loot. That's in the dungeon here. You can see it goes up by level 4 and goes up to level 36 because we are arriving at level 36 with our expansion later this year. Let's, you can get a lot more information. I believe this is already posted by players on Lamannia and what have you. But time-twisted versions of famous items and popular items over the years. Ain't bad. I'll take that cloak, maybe. Okay. So, anyway, you'll run this similar to the other dungeon, get your stuff, turn it in while the event is active. So then finally, we have not looked at the Sterling the Strongbox loot list yet, so why don't we take a look at that? Oh, because I don't have it yet, that's why. I don't have any remnants on this character yet, that's why I didn't plan ahead on that. But, let's see. I'll go head back then to maybe a few more of this. I didn't get all the way through it. So, chain shirt of toppling. I'm just going to skip to the level 36 version so you can kind of see where it caps out at. And I will have some visual stuff for this guide when we get to this point as well. I'm going to try to grab some screenshots of what some of this stuff looks like and populate it in the article as well. Robe of Resonance. We have some nice things with Sonic happening in Update 78 as well. Getting rid of the MRR cap on it. Yeah, I think that's correct. All right. Let me just And back at the test dojo on Lamannia here, is I believe we can take a look at the rewards. Is it from the loot guy? No, yeah. No, that's the Cloak of Summer. Can I see it? No, but it'll just show up here, which is 8 or 16 of curse cards, uncanny cards. You basically get a 8 or 16 card set or a deck of many curses. The other category, it's a 50-50 drop. Card of Curse Cleansing, ability score upgrade, tome selectors, 1 for each ability score. And then these dusts of mythic bonus, cloak, glove, and boots. And Reaper bonus, cloak, glove, and boots. The way those work is these dusts can be applied to an item while the anniversary event is active. So you can only apply it to an item through March 31st. Once applied, it'll provide a benefit to Mythic or Reaper permanently on the item. So we'll see. We'll see. It'll definitely influence the card of curse cleansing market. That's for sure. But that's how it goes. All right, I'm going to hop in here and just sort of have this cloak pop around a bit. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's, while I'm doing a little bit of Q&A and news here to wrap things up, let's just go into a public space and show off a little bit more Arcane Trickster combat. I did want to let you know that we have a 10% buddy boost. Oop. That's why I can't. I didn't quite set up this character correctly to be able to quest on X-Pac. I didn't grant myself the stuff yet. So why don't we run... Like I said, this is I'm way over level, but we'll just get into a thing where I can show off some more of these abilities. Meanwhile, while I have a few minutes left, let me take a look at chat. It stops in March. The anniversary event runs through March. Now, the Sterling Strongbox will continue throughout the year 2025. And the way that's going to work is the Sterling NPC will be in the Hall of Heroes, both while the anniversary event is active as well as a second location, but then also available for the rest of 2025 here. We did just do our Gather Your Party 2025 coupon code, you know, for the huge content giveaway, so I don't know that we're expecting to do that again. Oh, this one will actually heal you too. You've got a mage hand that'll heal you. Oh, I know what I can also show up. The other thing you can do with this is disable traps. So you can actually disable traps with your mage hand from a distance. I also noticed you can get insightful damage as one of your stolen spells as well, and I'm almost certain to be doing that when it comes time for building my character on live. Like I say, I'm way over level for this, so don't worry about the damage and that so much. This is just about kind of showing off the mage hand stuff and maybe some of the SLAs and other things that you can do. You raise a good point. I may have misspoken. on the end duration of the Sterling the Strongbox DUS. It is March 31st, but is it this year or next year? It might be next year. What do I have listed in the article? That is my understanding of what the it is. I believe I misspoke though. Let me take a look. Yes. They will apply a benefit through 3/31/27, so through March 31st, 2027, for the relevant item type, after which point they will no longer apply a benefit to an item. Any benefits that have already been applied will be retained. Yeah, so this Helping Hand will actually heal the target for 50% of their max hit points and apply a restoration effect. And as you can see, this has just a 1 minute cooldown. I've been getting this, using this to some benefit, just kind of playing around a bit.
Greed and villainy has won out.
While I'm out, let's see, where can I find a good trap to disable here? Oh, yeah. I can just do Proofers in the Poison. That's what I can do. Are we still accepting stream partners? Yes, we have applications for a DDO creator program, and you can find more information about that on DDO.com. We're really focused on the Lotro creator program right now because we're getting ready to launch that in the next couple of weeks. But as part of that work, I'm intending to onboard at least a handful of DDO creators who just didn't make it into round one. And so if that's you, if you maybe want it to be you, go take a look at the creator program on DDO.com and apply for it if it seems like something you might want to do. My cat is being meowy. I don't know what... Actually, I do know what my cat wants. My cat is upset that my bathroom door is closed. And my bathroom door is closed because, it's cold. Okay, down here. Here's our trap. Alright, so... search for traps like you normally would. And there's a trap box, and you don't use the regular thing. You'll actually have a little skill there. Mage Hand, disable traps. There you go. I have two. Alright, before I wrap up the show, was there anything I have not gotten to? We did have a fix this week, update 77.2.1. The main purpose of that work was to correct an issue with the Vow of Glory. So that did mean an end to the Symphony of the Fae redux that we had going on for just a couple of days until we were able to fix this bug. That means, though, any of your Symphony of the Fae characters that were previously having difficulty picking up items that were not Fae marked after the event was over will now not have that issue. The Vow of Glory will be off the character. And I did mention this earlier, or at least I started to, but we have a 10% buddy boost going through the weekend. That's plus 10% XP for every member in your party, not raid group, so only parties here. Maximum of 50% then. But it's through Monday. Monday is a holiday in the United States. And so we're actually giving you the bonus through the Monday as well. So if you happen to have a 3-day weekend and a group of friends, you can get a whole lot of XP this weekend. And perhaps, maybe you ought to take advantage of that if you're interested in it. Otherwise, I would just point out DDO.com does have a 20th anniversary article up. It's just DDO.com, 20th anniversary. It's got a top tab over on DDO.com. Just see that right here, but you can get a lot more information. Say we've got the token reward list preview up, the Sterling Remnant Rush preview up, Arcane Trickster is next, then we'll be doing the Time Flies Boss Rush kind of guide. It'll also be an inclusive guide of the prior anniversary event as well. We'll wrap things up with a limited time anniversary bonus and events article. This will also be an article about the public area space for Anniversary Island, because it'll kind of tell you the NPCs and what you can get all there. And there is another one I'm working on. We have got a bit of a soundtrack in the works. I don't think that's going to quite launch in time for the start of our anniversary, but our 20th anniversary year for Dungeons & Dragons Online is going to be continuing all year long. So we have got some things happening soundtrack-wise for that. I could tease for you today. Before I wrap it up, do we have any more questions? Do I voice the hulking creature falls? And if so, can I say the line? I didn't, no. I noticed that, however. Are the items with the Fey borders back to normal, or do they still have the Fey border? They do still have the Fey border. My understanding is we've been looking at our ability to strip that border out, perhaps exchange it for something that just will have an item descriptor of the Fey mark in it. We did see a little bit of feedback that a few people do want to preserve that as well for the event, but the larger feedback has been that they would prefer us to remove that border. That is something that we're looking into. Can't make any promises yet. It would probably show up in the release notes. Most likely after 78 would be my guess. A follow-up patch of 78 if we're able to do that. I don't remember the full line. Hulking creature falls, but... How far can Mage Hand reach for traps? Is it the search radius? I believe that that is correct. I believe it's search radius. No, that's not correct. Well, we'll have more information on the archetype guide next week. I think it might be Raycast. No? Limited Raycast? Something like that? We'll have more info in the guide. I think I saw something about that in there. About how the Mage Hand operates in terms of distance. And it would be the same for Disable as it would be for any of the other abilities. Alright, thanks so much, everyone, for watching Fridays at 4 on twitch.tv/DDOstream. I'll be back next week again. I'm going to be doing these weekly live streams throughout our anniversary celebration here. I'll be in-game doing some anniversary stuff in March, for example. Eventually, I'll probably back off doing weekly Friday live streams, but for the foreseeable few weeks, at the very least, I'll be with you every Friday and on YouTube afterwards. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Have fun. Bye-bye.